Sir, you're holding up the entire line. Move it along. What's all this junk anyway? The TSA agent barked, gesturing impatiently at the contents of Dan Peterson's carry-on bins, a few carefully folded clothes, a worn Bible, and a small velvet-lined case containing his Purple Heart medal. Dan, 76, moving slowly due to a service-connected knee injury, tried to explain, "It's my medal, son, from my service." The agent cut him off. "I don't care if it's the Nobel Prize, old man. Rules are rules. Pack it up, or we'll confiscate it." 6 minutes later, as Dan sat shaken on a nearby bench, the airport's calm was shattered. Every security checkpoint screen went black, and a booming authoritative voice echoed, "This is General Hamilton. Cease all screening operations in Terminal B immediately. If you believe respect isn't optional, especially for those who've sacrificed, type honor below." Dan Peterson navigated the world with the quiet patience of a man who'd seen too much change too quickly. At 76, his steps were measured, his knee, a painful memento from a jungle ambush few could locate on a map, dictating his pace. He was flying to his granddaughter's basic training graduation, a proud moment he wouldn't miss. His attire was simple: travel slacks, a collared shirt, light jacket. His carry-on held essentials, plus his most treasured possession, his Purple Heart in its original velvet case. He didn't often display it, but today, witnessing his granddaughter begin her own military journey, bringing it felt right, a silent testament to service's legacy. He expected no special treatment, just smooth passage. Arriving early, he approached Terminal B's TSA checkpoint prepared, shoes off, liquids out, laptop separate. His artificial knee usually triggered alarms. He knew the drill. The checkpoint thrummed with controlled chaos, beeping machines, stress, travelers, agents barking orders. Officer Miller, managing Dan's lane, radiated impatience. He treated passengers as obstacles, not people. When Dan's bins passed through the X-ray, Miller zeroed in on the velvet case. "What's this?" he demanded, poking at it with a pen. "My Purple Heart medal, officer," Dan said, hobbling over as he fastened his shoes. Miller opened the case without permission. "Purple Heart? Looks like a trinket. Got documentation?" Dan stiffened. "It's my medal, awarded for combat wounds. I don't carry a notarized affidavit for it." "Unusual item," Miller sneered. "You're holding up the line." He gestured at the growing queue. "Pack it up now, or we confiscate it for inspection." Dan's hands trembled as humiliation burned. This wasn't junk. It symbolized sacrifice, survival. To have it dismissed by this arrogant stranger cut deep. "It's not junk, son," Dan said, voice low. "It represents service. Respect is warranted." Miller scoffed. "Respect? I respect protocols. You're a security delay." He roughly pulled out Dan's Bible and framed photo of his late wife. "Metal in these? Frames thick. Everything scanned separately if questionable." "Sir, you're holding up the entire line. Move it along," he barked louder. "Repack in 60 seconds or I confiscate non-compliant items, metal included." Other travelers stared, some sympathetic, others annoyed. Dan, weary and aching, carefully repacked his belongings, handling the metal case with reverence. He moved to a bench, the agent's words ringing in his ears. He needed to make a call. Fumbling with his old phone, Dan scrolled to a number given years ago by a VFW friend, a direct line to TSA's national headquarters for reporting egregious misconduct against veterans. He'd never imagined using it. The call connected instantly. TSA Command Center, Special Operations. Agent Riley speaking. Dan identified himself, recounting the incident calmly. The medal's dismissal, public humiliation, confiscation threat. He provided Miller's name. Agent Riley's tone sharpened. "Mr. Peterson, please accept our deepest apologies. This is unacceptable and will be addressed immediately. Are you still in Terminal B?" "Yes, near Gate B12. Remain in a public area, sir. You'll see action shortly." 4 minutes passed. Then 5. At precisely 6 minutes, Terminal B transformed. Digital screens blanked, then displayed, all screening operations suspended by TSA National Command. The PA system overrode routine announcements with a live, thunderous voice. Attention. All personnel and passengers. This is General Marcus Hamilton, TSA Deputy Administrator. Effective immediately, cease all screening operations in Terminal B. TSA supervisors report to command posts. All other agents, stand down. Pandemonium erupted. Travelers gasped, phones whipped out. Officer Miller froze mid-inspection, blood draining from his face, as he realized this was about the old man with the medal. General Hamilton wasn't just a voice. He'd been at a nearby security conference when Dan's call triggered a gold star. Alert! Within minutes, the decorated veteran, his service record flagging the complaint's urgency, commandeered a car and stormed Terminal B with a senior TSA team. The terminal's security director rushed over. General, we have thousands. You have an agent, Hamilton cut in, icy calm, who insulted a Purple Heart recipient, threatened to confiscate a Valor Medal, berated an elderly veteran for moving slowly with combat injuries. That is your emergency. He scanned the stunned agents. Where is Officer Miller? A trembling Miller was identified. Hamilton approached, his quiet fury more terrifying than any shout. Officer Miller, you dismissed a Purple Heart as junk. Said you didn't care if it was the Nobel Prize. Threatened confiscation because a wounded veteran held up your line. Accurate? Miller stammered, Sir, protocols. He was slow. Slow, Hamilton repeated, voice deadly soft. From wounds that earned that medal. Your protocol mandates dignity and respect. You failed catastrophically. To the security director, Miller. Is relieved of duty immediately. Badge and credentials surrendered to my aide. Then, addressing all agents, this uniform represents security and honor. If you cannot respect those who sacrificed for this nation, you don't belong in it. An aide located Dan, still sitting quietly, and escorted him to Hamilton, the general. Extended his hand. Mr. Peterson, the TSA offers profound apologies. This will be rectified. Dan, shaken but resolute, shook his hand. Thank you, General. I just didn't want others treated this way. They won't be, Hamilton vowed. He personally fast-tracked Dan through security, arranged a first-class upgrade, and ensured an airline rep met him at the gate. Aftermath, Terminal B reopened within 30 minutes, but the impact reverberated nationwide. Officer Miller was reassigned to desk duty after retraining and formal reprimand. The incident became mandatory training for TSA agents on veteran respect. Dan attended his granddaughter's graduation, wearing his Purple Heart with quiet pride. His single call had triggered a seismic response, proving that even in vast systems, one voice defending honor can command the highest attention. Because Valor Medals aren't junk, they're sacred. And woe betide those who forget when true leaders are listening. Subscribe to Hidden Sparks if you stand with veterans and believe respect is the highest protocol.